Podemos quedarnos aquí? Okay, I understand it was a good game, and I agree with the sentiment, but also, my brother, you are jeopardizing like 4 years worth of videos with this bit. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 27, where the Astros win 12-4 over the Colorado Rockies. They won a game. They did it. They took Game 1 of the Mexico series and reset the clock on me having to make a You Are the Sunshine video with Jose Altuve as the centerpiece. And it's just, they won. Like, they won a game. It was beautiful. Now, quick show of hands. When the Rockies scored 2 in the bottom of the first, how many people looked around their house for a can of gasoline and a match? Because for like a few minutes in this game, for what roughly would have been the millionth time this season, the Astros looks like they're going to get lit in the first inning. I almost said period. Mind on hockey. First inning, and it would have been over then. But Blanco stops the bleeding. I thought he pitched a really good game. 5 2/3 with 8 strikeouts would be his final line. Only gave up a pair of walks, so he was in control, one might say. First inning wasn't great. That's the prerequisite. They gave up the 2 runs, but they stopped them until the 9th, so it was just pair of runs on either end of the game for the Rockies, and the 9th inning was garbage time. Who cares about that in the slightest? I couldn't find a care to give if you made me try. The Astros respond. They get 1 in the second. They end up getting 3 in the third, and they start to pour it on. The Astros offense actually looked really good. Again, it was a miracle. You had contributions from everyone in the lineup. Again, that's what they do when they look the best. When the Astros are at their absolute peak, it's not the top-end stars doing all the work. When the Astros have in the past one series and one game, specifically on the topic of games, it's not like you look at the box score and it's, oh, Altuve had 3 hits and 4 RBIs in the game. Yordan Alvarez had a pair of RBIs and 4 base hits in the game, and then no one else did anything. It's hit here with a couple of RBIs for Altuve, maybe had a walk, maybe 2 hits for Yordan Alvarez, couple hits in the 3 spot, couple hits for Tucker. It's spread out evenly. It's not a matter of one guy gets everything. The pie is spread around when they're at their best very evenly, and this kind of made you once again just be like, remember when? It was a really good game. Now, you did have a slight degree of that. Yordan Alvarez did have a ton of hits in this game. Ended up with 3 hits, 3 RBI. He was huge. Altuve had a pair of walks without a hit, but again, reached base a couple of times. He was not an unproductive night for Jose Altuve. You had Alex Bregman. Anyway, beside that fact, it was just a big day for the outfield as well. You're going to throw Yordan out there because, when he does play, he's in the outfield. But also the Tucker had a couple of big hits, had a home run in this game. Yordan had a pair, by the way. I probably should not bury the lead on that one. You also had Jeremy Pena, who would cash in with a base hit and a couple of runs scored. Not a bad night from him. Trey Cabbage, which is a weird one. In his Astros debut, his first game as an Astro, hit an RBI. Not too bad. And then you would have Mauricio Dubon come in, pinch hit for him, and he had a really good night as well. Pair of base hits, pair of RBI. Gotta love what you're seeing out of him. The weirdest one, Jose Abreu. He looked good. Defensively, we're not going to talk about it. I said I'd be very lenient in wins at this point. So we're not going to talk about it. Pair of base hits, pair of RBI for Jose Abreu. Which is great because that helped them win the game. But also now I'm just in the back of my mind like, boy, really hope that Bagwell doesn't emerge from the walls in Dana Brown's office and go, well, time for an extension. And then also before we get to the pitching side of it, the guy who called the game for them, Yainer Diaz, 3 hits and 3 runs scored. Really, really nice night out of him. Then you move on to pitching. Ronel Blanco, again, really good night. 5 2/3, gave up the 2 runs in the first. After that, he was clean the rest of the way from a runs perspective. Struck out 8. Really nice night out of Ronel Blanco. You had Seth Martinez come in for 1 whole out, and it's always difficult to talk about that, but he did pick up a strikeout. So we're just going to, again, leniency. They won a game. It was beautiful. Brian Abreu pitched a clean inning in this game. Picked up 3 strikeouts. Nothing bad I'm going to say about that. Taylor Scott, your favorite South African pitcher of all time, picked up a pair of strikeouts in this game. Brandon Belak didn't give up 10 runs, so it doesn't matter even a little bit, and the Astros win the game 12-4. Now, it's great to see all these things. It's great to see the pitching staff pitch well. It's great to see runners in scoring position be good. I want to say it was 6 for 12 tonight. I will double check that. Yeah, 6 for 12. 12 runs feels great, and so even if the runners in scoring position isn't super high, when you score that many, you're not going to care even a little bit. You look at the left on base, 7, but also the asterisk of you scored 12 runs, so who cares about that? There's a lot to feel good about. It's important that you keep it slightly in the perspective of it's the Rockies, but that is not at all the message that can float around this locker room right now. The message, if you're the Houston Astros in the locker room, has to be, this is what good Astro baseball looks like. Everyone's getting in on it. You're coming up with these long innings where you're stretching runs, you're stretching hits across the inning to get the run scored. This is what the best of Astros baseball looks like. You've got to win tomorrow. You've got to take both games. You can't just have one game like this where you tease us with the talent again, where you show that you still could be that thing, to then take it away tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon. That's the biggest thing. I have a lot of doubts about this team. I have a lot of things that I question. I have a lot of things that I'm just, iffy on. But, as I said recently, I cannot physically, my body rejects giving up on this team because I know who they are. I know what they can do if they truly, truly put their minds to it. If you want to be able to start to flirt with the idea that the season isn't completely in the gutter, that it's not dead, and that you could somehow, on account that you're playing in, from a, at bare minimum records perspective, the worst division in the league, on account that you're 8-19 and only 6.5 games back, which is, all intents and purposes, a good week and a bad week. You're a week away from the lead. And not a whole heck of a lot of 5th out of 5 in the division can say that. So this is not a matter of it's cooked. Like, from that perspective, you can still feign that you're alive. If you want to start to make that an actual possibility, you've got to win tomorrow. I'm not going to mandate the, oh, you've got to blow them out, but you've got to win. I don't care what the score is. You've got to win. End of the line, you have to. You're sending your best pitcher on the staff, supposedly, to the mound. At bare minimum, your opening day starter, in Framber Valdez, to the mound. And the Rockies are going to send Austin Gomber to the mound. That's got to be a win. And even though it's only a 2-game series, it's got to be a sweep where you can actually head back to the States with something concrete, something to give you hope. And simply winning it tomorrow and winning both games can do that. The game is at 4:05 Eastern, 3:05 Central. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Stros.